Carrie Lam there. Well, the European Union has expressed its grave concerns about the law, saying it fears the measures could seriously undermine the territory's independence. Let's talk now to Benedict Rogers, who is co-founder and chair of Hong Kong Watch, who joins me now from here in London. Good to see you. What would you say then to Carrie Lam, who says this is actually going to improve the one country, two systems law?
Well, I think her argument is a sort of Orwellian inversion of the truth. I don't see in any way how her argument holds. This is a law imposed by Beijing, didn't even go through the Hong Kong legislature, and it totally destroys Hong Kong's autonomy. And
your reaction to what you've seen today? There have already been arrests.
Yes, I mean, I'm not surprised. In a sense, it's more of the same. We've seen police brutality and arrests and totally disproportionate violence by the police over the last year. But of course, now they have this brutal and very repressive law as an extra tool in their armoury.
Do you think that peaceful protest will eventually become illegal, that people could be sent to prison for life for that?
Yes, I think that's a very real threat. I think all basic freedoms, freedom of protest, freedom of expression, freedom of association, are under grave threat now.
What about judicial independence?
That's also severely undermined. The chief executive under this new law has the power to choose the judges for security cases, and even some cases will be under the control of Beijing. So judicial independence, which Hong Kong has prided itself in, is rapidly disappearing as well.
Carrie Lam also denied that today in her press conference, Benedict. The other thing that she said, which we've heard before, is that this was necessary because Hong Kong has to defend its national security from foreign interference. What do you say to that?
Well, that's also going to threaten basic freedoms for Hong Kongers. Hong Kongers who talk to someone like me, or who go on the BBC, or who talk to foreign parliamentarians are probably committing a crime now, and so their ability to express themselves, raise their voice, seek the attention of the international community is now seriously undermined.
So if this is the end of one country, two systems, what do you see for the future of Hong Kong? Is it a profoundly sad day for you?
It's a very profoundly sad day. I lived in Hong Kong for the first 5 years after the handover. I began my working life, in fact, as a journalist in Hong Kong. And one country, two systems was a great vision for the city, and worked for the first 10 years or so after the handover. And for the future, unless there's serious international action and change on the part of Beijing, which is not easy to see immediately, Hong Kong will just become another mainland Chinese city with all the repression that goes with that.
What would you like to see happen then from, say, the British government?
Well, I think the British government should lead the international community. Britain has a specific responsibility to Hong Kong, a moral responsibility and a legal responsibility, and we should lead the world in targeted sanctions, in pressure through the United Nations. There have been calls for a UN envoy, and through a lifeboat rescue package so that if it comes to it, people who need to flee the city have somewhere to go to. So a punitive, a diplomatic and a humanitarian path to help Hong Kongers.
Benedict Rogers, thank you for joining us.